Hi, everybody, and welcome to, you know, I can already feel it. It's already there. Lord. Okay.
What
So
are we
I'm
doing?
I am Debbie G, and this
I'm
this is
Stacie. Hey,
Stacie. How y'all doing tonight? How y'all doing? So this is the inside scoop. We are a couple of the Tya masters of Tya peoples.
the mistress of Tya, of the house
I
of Tya.
haven't
That sounds really
I
bad.
the house of Tyre. We're from the house of Tyre. Oh,
Oh my
I'm
God,
so
that's
glad we're just so for those of you joining right now, hi. We're going to have a really, I promise you, we're going to have a fun conversation tonight. And as you're joining, please do share this out and that type of thing. Type any questions into the chat that you want Stacie and I to tackle. Is there some part of your life right now that you're seriously sitting back going, my life just sucks, or you got something going on that's really really ugly? Please type it into the chat for me. That would be super, and for Stacie, and we'll take a hack at it and see if we can like hack it for you and see what happens. We also have a contest going out there, and we're going to talk about what that is in just 1 second. And Stacie, how are you doing? How are you doing right now? What's your day been like? What's your week been like? Where have you been?
yeah. So I'm sure everybody is starting to notice the holidays are looming. And the feelings that start to bubble up as you start moving around during your day. Post office more crowded, streets, people are driving a little more frantically. You get into the grocery store, I'm noticing everybody's very focused and wanting to get all their stuff, and there's going to be a shortage of turkeys, so we have to hurry and make sure to get all the turkeys. It's interesting to start to feel that holiday.
Gosh,
Yeah, it's like the adrenaline, the perfection of whatever expectations you have for yourself and your family in that holiday season. Like, so it's gonna be wicked, man. And a lot of stuff comes up, a lot of old traumas, a lot of fears that you're gonna have to deal with Uncle Marty, who's a bit of a creeper or whatever. Not that I have an Uncle Marty, but it's
I have. Well, actually, I do have an Uncle Marty. His name's just not Marty. He was kind of a creeper. Just saying. Anybody else out have those creeper uncles? I don't know. But yeah, no, Stacie, this is all really true stuff. And as a matter of fact, speaking of families and gatherings and things like that, it was interesting because in my gender communication class today,
oh,
somebody brought up the fact that in his family, like the family gatherings and stuff, that this is because the holidays are coming, that they
yeah.
literally pick on this one aunt because she's gay.
Oh,
And so the entire class was there the idea was to discuss the to critically look at this situation and see what kind of aspects of that each of us had. So I love that
hey,
you're bringing this up.
I must have felt you. Felt your vibe in that class. It's interesting. And we're approaching the end of the year, and I don't know about you, but I'm one of those who's gonna look back on my year and review what went well, what didn't go so well, what I'd like to shift, and how I'd like to formulate goals for my next year. So all that's starting to come into play as well. It's like, well, the last year was this way. I made this amount of money, or I achieved these goals in my spiritual development, or geez, I haven't done that yet. I really wanted to focus on, bringing myself into a more positive, uplifted vibe regularly. How do I bring that into my next year? How do I bring that into my holidays? With the craziness of family, and you can't pick your family, but you can pick your friends. So at least appreciate your friends.
That's interesting. I don't know. I think we can. I think in our family that we're even picking those nowadays because I my family is interesting, Stacie. I don't talk to my mom, and not by my choice, or two of my younger sisters,
Mm.
not by my choice, but simply because well, it's just alignment and vibration, different perspectives, stuff like that. Family. What is our definition of family? I want to give a shout out to Eddie Hinesley, who I could call Eddie Hinkley. I should just call you Eddie Hinkley, shouldn't I, Eddie? And hi, Robin, because family. I love this. Like 3 years ago, I'm walking through. I'm at this. Yeah, you don't
Well,
speak to your dad. This
yeah.
is so fit, and this is why I love that he popped on just as I was saying this, Stacie, because like I walked in and he's in this like we're okay. So I go to this fairy fest, right? And I'm walking through and Prince Pleiadians with me and we're doing this live stream, like talking about the fairy fest and all this spiritual woo-woo wacky stuff. It was great. Loved it. And I'm walking through and I look and I'm like, that's Eddie. And I called him, I forget what I called him. Hinkley, Eddie Hinkley.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Eddie, and I'm just like, it was such a moment of meeting one of your siblings out there that you didn't know you had, about,
Another mother.
yeah, totally, just like, oh my God, was so awesome. And I just love him so much. And his fiance seems magical. And I just can't wait to meet her. But family, Tya is a family.
Oh yeah,
Our family,
definitely.
totally. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, seriously.
And that is definitely a family I have chosen to be a part of, chosen to, help build a community around, invited other people on a regular basis. If you vibe with this, if you like, the same lines of thinking, the law of attraction, if you like meditation, if you want to improve who you are and how you expand and what you manifest in your life, then this is the place for you. And speaking of that, David's going to bring forward this Saturday on the 20th, a masterclass, a free masterclass. And he's going to be talking specifically about upgrading your human operating system, creating a new one so that you can deal with all these old, not old, familiar family members, friends, politics, you name it, goals, lack thereof.
I love, I love that. I think what it's going to come down to is not only is it taking your truth back, but it's stepping into your sovereignty. And
Mm-hmm.
and as individuals right now, we are actually being asked to step fully into our sovereignty.
Yeah.
Remember who you are, and Tya gives you tools to do that. That much I do know. I'm going to post the link here in the chat right now for that free masterclass, so you all can come and hang out with us. Okay.
Yeah, do please. Yeah.
What does sovereignty mean to you?
Yeah, sovereignty, that's a really interesting word. In fact, I want to look it up in the Webster's dictionary because I'm seeing it come up a lot lately. But for me, sovereignty is actually standing truthfully and fully in my center, my core of my being, connected to the planet, grounded, well grounded, and connected to source, and being able to navigate my life from that space, from my space of truth, from my space of knowing, and from the space of a little bit of doubt, less doubt than all that other chaos that is occurring in the world around us, in other people's lives around us, in our family around us. Yeah.
Yeah. I absolutely love that. And sovereignty is rule over you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
tell yourself what you're gonna allow and what you're not gonna allow.
Yeah. Yeah.
You Foxy has decided, which is unusual for her to decide. She's gonna pop in and say hi to everybody. So
Animals.
Foxy actually all right, honey. Foxy loves David. Foxy also has met Eddie. Foxy and a friend just told, here we go. So Eddie's saying that's exactly what Eddie is saying, Stacie. Yes, a friend just said that, to stand in the center of truth. I love that right there. That's it. Sovereignty. Let
Of your
everybody else of your truth. Yeah, everybody else type into the chat, what does sovereignty mean to you? And while you're doing that, I'm grabbing the link so that people have it for this free masterclass. So give me just 1 second here. I
so
apologize. It's taking me a memento.
unfortunately, the Oxford Dictionary refers to it more in the sense of a country. So the authority of a state to govern itself or another state. So that's interesting.
Okay, so
Let's
okay,
just use
so
this. The secondary definition is a self-governing state. So that itself applies to us, how we govern ourselves, like you were saying,
yeah,
and Eddie was saying too, standing in our truth, right?
exactly. So I'm looking at personal sovereignty here, just to kind of, it says personal sovereignty is an issue which affects each of us as individuals and as a society, whether we realize it or not. Understanding it can help us interpret what is going on within us and around us. The word sovereign means to be in supreme authority over someone or something, and to be extremely effective and powerful. Therefore, it is usually applied to God's royalty and governments. When we speak of kings and queens as sovereign, even when they are figureheads, and of the sovereign rights of the nations and the states. Personal sovereignty then would imply the instinctive authority and power of an individual to determine his or her own direction and destiny.
There you go, right there, right there. Say that again. Just the last sentence. I love the last sentence.
That last sentence was freaking bomb. In fact, you know what? Here, it's from it's from huna.org. And just wait, shoot, where did it go? Personal sovereignty, within, oh, here we go. I'm going to get it right now, guys. I'm going to put it into the chat so we actually have this up with us. I'm loving what you're putting there. I'm going to bring it up right now. Eddie?
Yeah,
Eddie
that's
says, I
awesome.
do not squirt sides. There are no sides in circles. Angles. Is to stand and
Mm-hmm.
I'm yeah. I'm really loving that too.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the ways that I live my life, in a space of knowing where my center is, my truth is, what feels true to me, whatever the topic is, and to view everything outside of me with curiosity, with that looking of what is that viewpoint, because it's different than mine, and how does that viewpoint relate or not relate to the truth that I'm holding in that moment. So that's just my take on sovereignty. Personal sovereignty then would be
Hey,
intrinsic authority. Yeah, I like that.
power over individual to determine his or her own direction and destiny. I love what you're saying. I love what you're saying, Stacie, because she's inviting everybody to be willing to be curious, which is the first rule in emotional intelligence. Always remember that. Always. It is the very first thing. If you look at Marshall Rosenberg's work, if you look at any actually book that has to do with emotional intelligence, that is the very first thing you're going to be looking at, is that curiosity tool. So I love that. The next thing is, when somebody does have a different opinion than you, are you willing to accept their opinion as being their truth without proving right or wrong?
That's a sticky wicket.
Well, I'm going to share with you how I failed miserably at this. I promise you. But I want to say, I see Facebook user. I see no comments. I think I'm in the wrong room.
Oh no. We love you.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're in the wrong room. We love you. We're in 8 different rooms, darling. So no telling where you are. We will find you. And Erica pops up with sovereignty for me is standing and being in my truth and allowing others to stand and be in theirs. Beautiful, which is to what I just said. So y'all, you're curious. You use that curiosity. You're seeking to understand. See, because here's the thing: if you can't accept it, then we're going to ask you to step in and seek to understand it so that you can step into accepting it. So
Or even
I
just
want to tell you,
appreciating where that person is standing, even if you don't accept it as your truth.
Well, I'm not saying, actually, I totally don't mean accepting it as your truth, though. Accepted that that's their truth, and allowing their truth to be their truth, my truth to be my truth. Okay, fine, okie dokie, whatever. And then, yeah, stepping into appreciation, you know it. And because that's that path. So last week, I think I shared pretty heavily that, or no, I didn't, but I'm gonna, that I had really stepped into this space of wanting to be right about a situation because I know I'm right about it. So it's like, I know I'm right. I still know I'm right. I want you all to hear what I just said. Okay. Just, I know that I'm right about it, but that's okay for me to know I'm right. In fact, you know what, Stacie, we're all right.
Mm-hmm.
Every freaking one of us is right. No matter who you are or where you come from, you're right. Simply because you believe that, and you have a right to be for that right. But I was exercising my ability to be right, which I am all the time. Didn't say I'm not open to seeing other perspectives or seeking understanding, but anyway, I was all up in my own shit, and I was completely in my ego, my big whopping bolsterous ego, and I totally I got all wrapped up in that energy. And that energy, I don't know, that's like being wrapped with a boa constrictor and having it start squeezing you, and it's squeezing you. It's like that need to be right. It just every time I was say something else, I was like constricted, because all it's doing is just squeezing my soul the way I don't want it to go. All it's doing is squeezing what I know is just really not acceptable, no matter what way I want to try to look at it. I had not sought any understanding. I was just, damn it, I'm right now. Shut up and listen. I mean, like that, like my dominating ego wants to do that with, because I have one of those. When she comes out, she's a little testy. Probably because I do put her away for so long now. She just must get really bored and want to come out just to ruffle my feathers. I tell you what, Stacie, and this is why we've got Tya, guys. Because listen, Stacie, what do we do? Why do we do this to ourselves? Because we're bored.
It goes back again to the human operating system. Like, you came in clean and clear and connected to source, and then we get, I hate the word conditioned, we get learned. We get educated.
Yeah.
We get educated on how to be
educated
humans in society. And really, that goes pretty much, somebody's going to hate me saying this, pretty much 100% against who we are as a soul and what our true light, acceptance, love, journey, expansion, like all of that is what we're here for. And as soon as we start layering all this shoulda, woulda, coulda rules, you need to behave X, Y, and Z way, it can get buried really quickly. And then we have lived that way for so long, me 50 odd years, it takes a while to get those layers off, to accept that maybe that's not the best way for me to live any longer, because I'm not getting the results that I truly want out of my life. Still not as joyful as I'd like to be. Still don't have the relationship, don't have the abundance, whatever it is for you. Then it's like, well, yeah, that is those ego parts. And like, you've done a lot of work, Debbie. So I know that you're not walking around all the time in your ego self. But when that does show up, and it does for me as well.
She reared her head so bad. I was like, look at you go. I mean, it's you guys, you know what? When you know you're doing it and you know it's happening and you still do it. No. There's just
That happens.
Oh
Well,
my
again,
God.
so you let her out of the closet for a little while to explore the outside and roam free. And it's almost like you have to not pay the piper, but there is a lesson there to be learned. Whatever that lesson is for you, you know, on some level, we make that choice subconsciously most of the time, right? To fall back into that old operating system. It's like you want to see if it still works, even though you
I
tried.
just wanted to try it out. Yeah. I
Exactly.
just thought, well, it's sort of like, I'll give you all an example. I have a couple of hard drives of mine that croaked many, many moons ago. But they're in one of those cases, how you plug them in, and it worked with my old computer, even though it was an older version or whatever, I could still get it to at least come on.
Right.
I tried to plug it into my new one and it's like, no,
Device
it's like, just doesn't work. Yeah, yeah, but I still gonna try it. And I kid you, but once wasn't enough. Like I tried it like 10 more times to be sure that it wasn't going to work again. And this was it's the same thing, I think, for us though. But the minute that I stopped doing this, it's like that freaking Toby Keith song. Want to talk about me, want to talk about I, want to talk about number one, oh me, oh my, which is always great because I am number one. And it's not even that. It's just that there's a proper time. This wasn't all about me whining
Mm,
and complaining. So
mm,
what it came down to though was that I really sat back, and here's what the result was: a really nasty headache. I'm going to be straight. I
oh,
haven't had a headache. Stacie haven't had a headache in I don't know how long. And I'm like over there going, how did I manage this one? Wow. I mean, I manifested it, but good. And I'm telling you guys, like, I literally know better. I know better. And as many times as I've spouted off all these tools I use, when you actually get in a damn relationship and have to use them, for God's sake, what the hell?
I know. I love that. It's great to be able to go to the top of the mountain and sit and meditate in a cave all by yourself for years and years and find enlightenment. But if you cannot come down off the mountain and walk into traffic or the grocery store or into your relationship and access those tools, then what the are they any good for? And
Oh, yeah.
I it's so interesting when you're describing, kind of this bursting forward of this old ego pattern of yours. It feels like no, I'm not surprised you had a headache because it literally you were like, oh, like purging it out. If you
Yeah.
I use this metaphor, but if you throw up really hard, you end up with a wicked headache.
Yeah. Yeah.
You feel dehydrated, you're drained. It's like, oh, so it's kind of like you almost had to purge that poison and see it all on the ground and all the wreckage that it caused or didn't cause, hopefully. And then go, oh yeah, I should have eaten that.
I knew not to eat that.
I shouldn't have
Don't
drank.
eat it. I'm gonna eat it. I thought I did.
Well, but I totally, I
But
love your metaphor with the hard drives. Are you going to keep plugging it into the new computer to see if it
plug
works?
it. It's
I love it. That's
okay.
awesome.
So when I realized it wasn't working, but here's what I'm gonna tell you about the situation. Is it still now we're going through a different phase of it.
Yeah.
I laid there today and I had gratitude tears flowing. And gratitude tears are when I go into this, like, it's like deep thankfulness and appreciation. This situation did not shove the person that I was having this conflict with away. It brought
Mhm.
us. That's what it did. And I'm like,
Yeah.
wow. Well, I will have to say though, but how did that happen? Because when you're right about that mountain. If you were on that mountain for, like I was, for 7 years, and you come on down into a relationship and you can't handle it, what the hell were you doing on the mountain with a thumb up your ass instead of actually learning some tools? One of the two was happening. Let's face it. It's like I got to take one more class theory.
I love how we talk
Oh,
about relationship over and over because it's so key to like any spiritual practice. If you can't use it while you're in the middle of your relationship, what is it serving? It serves you in your own bliss if you're all by yourself, and being single is blissful. But in a relationship,
it's
oh, I'm sorry. I know. I've been married for 2 years, and the first year of our marriage was hell. It was
well because I'm going through shock right now, and my system's in shock. So y'all just
yeah. And this is
oh.
this is a great place for you to be gentle with yourself and to realize it's like, yeah, we've learned these great tools. We know how to implement them with ourselves, by ourselves, in our small little circle of Tya-ism, or whatever spiritual circle that you're in where everybody's like-minded. And then they're like, oh yeah, I get you, right? They speak your same language. They drink the same tea, they eat the same granola. It's like, it's all in line. And then you step out of that circle and you start living with these other people. And it's like total shock, total doubt. Your center becomes really rocked. And this is the place where you got to find that sovereignty of your own again and again and again. I know I do it every single day. Sometimes I have to walk out of my house into the garden just to find it again, because I lost it when I went inside and had a brief conversation with my husband. And it's like, oh, there I go again. Just that little stopgap so we can turn and go into the garden where I know my bliss lives. I know I connect back into my source. And then when things go horribly wrong, and sometimes they do, as an evolved person, a practitioner of spiritual arts and ways, and using your tools, what do? We make amends. We forgive.
Mm-hmm.
We ask for forgiveness. I'm really sorry. I wasn't myself in that moment. I assumed this. You had other expectations. Yes, it is. Walking meditation is so true.
I love it.
It is. It's like we have to step into the fact that we manifest that obstacle, that interaction, that unleashing of our ugly little ego, and then step into the place of, oh, forgive me. I had a moment. I digress. I apologize, trying to make amends. That's all we can do. And once you get vulnerable,
I love that.
And, strip away all the, you did this and I did that, and you take 100% ownership for what you brought it to the table, it's very rare that the person across from you is going to flip you the bird and run away. Being vulnerable and naked is extremely powerful, because that person's going to want to do one of two things: protect you, and probably love you and cover you, and understand that, oh yeah, I get that way too.
Mm-hmm.
There's some nugget of truth that other person will get.
Well, and I love this. Totally. See, because what happens is exactly that. I had to pull all my tools out. No matter what they were. It was just like, it's just a whole tug of, and really sit with myself and go, and compassionately, y'all, just because I'm perfectly human. And sit back and realize that in my perfect humanness, I really, really, really had to take a look at what was there in my world. You see, because doing this, that somebody else did something to me, is a crock of shit. And anybody blaming somebody else, thinking somebody else is doing something to them, that's just not the case. The fact of the matter is that it's always you. If you're upset, it's you. They did not do squat. You have something going on in you, that's because you never notice if I was to say something to you that has nothing to do with anything that's a trigger for you, you're not going to feel anything. But if I'm triggering you right now, then the shit I just said's for you, period, because that's the way it works. And it's a big gulpy way. You got to swallow it down, and you're not going to die. That's your ego,
Oh,
by the way. You're swallowing your ego.
eating that crow pie that no one likes.
Other crow pie. Oh yeah, swallow that ego. Sit your flunky ass down and say, I was scared. I was
Mm,
so scared. I was scared to death about what this situation looked like. I didn't know what to do, how to handle it, and it was so much fear. And I wanted to control the situation because I went into safety, my own safety, because when I don't feel safe, I, for flip's sakes, am going to make sure I am. I promise you freaking what. And when you're a badass warrior, because you've been through everything under the sun, right, Stacie?
yep.
We know how to do this real well, man. And men out there, because I'm gonna promise you, Eddie knows what's up right now. He knows. I mean, this is for men too. Any of you trauma babies out there that have been dealing with your wounding know how to protect yourselves. And that's
Mm,
what we do. We go into a deep protection. God bless us, right? God bless us. God bless us for those tools, because we also use those tools to protect other people. But there comes
yeah.
a point in time. It comes a point in time, though. Well, yeah, because we have Survivor. We know how to survive. And if you're a survivor and you know how to survive, you've got tools of the trade, man. You can help other people survive too. But the fact is, who wants to just live in survival anymore? And that's what Tya has helped me to do, because you see, I've learned how to shift and how to pivot and how to change it, how to change that so that I'm not in that survivor space. And I know how to come from a sovereign space.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's really good. That ties in really nicely to what Leslie posted at 6:44 p.m. The stopgap. That is the stopgap when you realize that you've gone off the handle, off the rail. Excuse me, and
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
back in old patterns because you are scared. You're protecting yourself. It's so when you're scared, you don't grab, the feather duster. When you're scared, you run for the knife or the gun or the shovel. It's like,
Shovel's
you
good.
know what those tools do. And so in that fear response, you're immediately going to go back to those old tools that they can protect you. You're not going to, yeah, they say the pen is mighty than the sword, but when the ego's involved, it's not. So I love
No.
the point of this is a great opportunity for you to remember how valuable that tool was in the past, to recognize it, to appreciate it, and to place it in a safe, contained spot that you can choose when it's necessary to use that. When the circumstances get to the point where you've tried all your other tools, you're still not getting your results, and then maybe, just maybe, that raging bitch ego needs to come out and speak up. That is extremely powerful, because then you're consciously aware instead of snap reaction. You're consciously aware of, wait a second, this has gotten to the point where me being the nicest person possible, spiritually evolved, it's not working. This person's not hearing me. Let's bring out a little whoop ass. If you have a purpose, if you know the other person may or may not, may respond in a more favorable manner, but it again is a very calculated way of what tools do I have at my disposal, and when is it the most appropriate time to use them? Great.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great opportunity for you to place that tool where you know where it is safely in the shed of your consciousness.
Yep. Oh, I love Eddie. You were so tired of protecting yourself, dude, right?
Yes.
It's just so exhausting, man.
Single.
It's
Thank you,
so,
Eddie. That's
oh,
true. But you're single for so long because you've
oh,
been using.
he was too. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on your engagement. And Mona, yes, it does feel wonderful to take ownership of your actions and to ask for what is that, David popping in? To ask for
Well,
your
it's actually,
appreciation.
that's me posting. So I want to just bring something up really quickly, because just
You
hang
want
on, guys. I'm hugging you. I'm loving you right now. Okay. Oh, breather.
She's there, I swear. She's just falling down.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to just quickly, there's two things I want to bring up. One, there is a link in this chat to join the free summit for Tya on Saturday. You guys don't want to miss this. And these are our Trust Your Abundance gold $100 bills. There's no monetary value for these. What there is here is any power you want to give it. Because as we know through the stream's teachings, that nothing has power until you give it power. So I will tell you that when I love these things, these $100 gold bills, and I keep them in my purse and I give them away. And I swear, Stacie, every time I give one of these away, I wind up with money. I wind up with money. I do. I won scratchers. I'm serious, y'all. It's crazy. So here's how that you're going to win. And I know Mona wants.
Mona
Gary
wants.
said she does. And I know that Leslie.
She probably has.
She's like, I want that. So here's how you're going to do it. What you're going to do is you're going to go to the link that I posted there. You're going to watch our last live stream, and you're going to answer the questions, which apparently didn't post. Well, but it is in the description of this live stream. And yes, she wants it. Here's the questions. What was your favorite quote from Stacie in our last live stream? What was your favorite quote from me? What was I attached to? And why does Stacie say your soul needs to come into this experience? For what reason? Those are the questions that you need to answer. And here, I'm going to try posting them one more time. These are the questions here. And the two people who send this to us, you can message us privately on Facebook, okay? Because we're on 8 different platforms right now. If you put it into the chat, I may or may not see it. So just hit us up privately. And I'm going to give you one of these handy dandy little $100 thing. No monetary cash value is attached. Just saying. But it's because of this reason. Well, just because we want you to go back and watch our live stream. And then we want you to really soak in what it is that you are listening to. Yeah. How are you applying? How do you guys apply tools in your life? That kind of thing. You know, it's one thing to sit here and listen to it. It's another to actually do it. And that's what the whole relationship thing was. Because let me tell you something. I was really good. I practice nonviolent communication. I'm the queen of this shit. Oh, yes, and I'm in school, and I go, this is my study. Yeah, till I freaking got it. Oh, yeah, I was great with my friends. I was great with myself. Man, nothing is but nothing until you get into a relationship and you actually have to do it. It's like you get to do it. Yeah. And there's Stacie, how we're doing it, man. We're doing it.
It's amazing. I'm so blessed and grateful that my husband loves me at the level that he does, that he is willing to put up with my bullshit when it comes out. He's willing to forgive me, and he's willing to level up his game and to strategize with me when we're not communicating well, when our expectations are unvoiced and unmet and we're upset. And he's getting so good at identifying much like why he's upset about things. I remember when I first started dating him, it was, well, why do you feel that way? Well, I don't know, And now he can tell me I feel this way because. So it's just, it's such an amazing, expansive experience for me, who, like you, trauma baby, did it all myself, took care of myself. If there was a bad situation, if I didn't like somebody that I was dating or in a relationship with, I'm like, bye, out of here. I can take care of myself. Great strategy, right? But it kept me alone. And I was really only evolving, expanding as a soul to a certain level. I kept myself at a ceiling. I never popped above that until I got involved with Tya, actually. Oh, thank you, Leslie.
Just so for all you that are watching, Stacie says your relationship with your man is so inspiring and respectful. Thank you. That's very sweet. Leslie is also a graduate of Tya, and we have a couple of graduates of Tya. Tya is Trust Your Abundance. That is a practice that was created by David Strickle. David Strickle, whom I met many, many moons ago. I was having a Mystic Mixer in Palm Springs, and I was it was this magical moment of meeting David, and he was so freaking adorable. I'm gonna tell you, he was kind of hot. He's sitting across, and I'm looking at David. Now I'm single, mind you. I'm looking across at David, going, "Hey, he's damn cute. Who's that?" Right? He had a boyfriend. I was not gonna get anywhere with him at all. I was no, actually, I think David had a husband at that point in time, and I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I looked at him, I said, David, that's not right. Why are so many hot men freaking gay? I swear, I love you guys and I love that you're gay, but Jesus, man, what's up? Just say it.
You're so funny. Oh,
Is it not true? Is that not true?
so, if you want more of what we have, come to the master class on Saturday, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard. It is RSVP. It's a limited space. It's going to be a live master class. I'm sure David will bring the stream in maybe for a moment if we beg him, but he will teach you a lot of the power of the Tya principles so that you can start to get familiar with them, so that you can start playing with them in your own life and seeing results. And you'll see results really quick. I've just had a wonderful meeting with our latest round of boot camp students, and to observe them using their tools and watching how things are manifesting in their life because of these tools, it's mind-blowing. And it's happened to hundreds of people. Debbie G's not the only one. Leslie and Mona are not the only ones. I'm not the only one. I just get the privilege of teaching it. But it's so much fun, you guys, to be able to take your power, to take your sovereignty and fully manifest it into your existence, into your life, into your relationships, even sometimes when it's hard. It's such a blessing.
Man, I'll tell you. Yeah, but I'm telling you, Stacie, this was the coolest thing though, because of Tya, my relationship didn't implode.
Yeah.
It did not implode. It did not implode, okay? Like it could have imploded. I was pretty gnarly, let me tell you. And I've got a temper I'm not proud of when it comes out. I didn't even think it was possible for that thing to come out anymore. I don't know what the hell. And I really had to come to Jesus with myself, thanks to Tya, because I was able to forgive myself.
Thank you for saying that, because that's really the first piece.
Well, I am my transgressor. Everybody, you start off in Tya with detuning other transgressors, so you think you have other transgressors still. By the way, you don't. It's just such a crock of poo. So you start with, because you think mama, dada, and your cousin and your uncle did all that to you, but you find out that you are your own transgressor. How that we turn into that is just such a phenomenon to me. So the beauty was when I realized that not only did we go through this, but he is finishing up Tya boot camp right now. And the two of us together use these tools, y'all, to salvage this relationship, because it was at a point where, had it been a couple of years ago, or let's say a few years ago, before we had any of these tools, a few years ago, I can imagine that it would have just and I would have been in the aftermath walking away going,
yeah, exactly. I love the one. It's a gift
walking down the lane.
Yeah, a person's walking away and there's like a bomb and fire behind them. Yes, Mona.
Yeah, Mona
as well. I think the
okay
amazing part of that. Go ahead.
Y'all, if you see like this, there's a common trend happening in Tya that we all go, oh my God, we're our own transgressor. There is some power in taking back your responsibility and accountability in your life. There is this power that happens when you quit blaming others for your stuff. Yeah, but no yeah buts either, because the yeah but is still the thing you're sitting on. And you're like, yeah, but they did. No. The minute that you go, yeah, but they did that thing, That right there is your problem.
Mhm.
I got this block and I can't get past it because, yeah, but they did. No. So there's this power that you have. When you want to talk about, it's the only way for you to get your sovereignty back is your sovereignty back is for you to actually sit there and swallow that ego pie with cream, whipped cream right on there.
Good.
It just tastes like no, I got to do it raw. All right. I was gonna give you some cream, but she's saying raw, man. Just you gotta just do it. All right, get it down. Yeah, be okay. Get some hair on your chest.
Well,
Get some
exactly.
cojones. Well, I mean, really, yeah, because you do kind of have to get some cojones because people it takes like oomph. It takes gusto to go, holy cow. Yeah, that was me.
It does
But
take sheer determination and courage to
yeah,
step into either the bliss of what you're creating or the shit of what you're creating. Either one. Sometimes it's even hard for us to recognize that we are creating bliss and our own transgressor energy can come back around.
it's a
Because
pickle.
again, it's the old, it's such that's why I said it was a sticky wicket, because it's this funky circle where I think we've used the onion metaphor, right? You peel off that one layer, there's that layer and that underneath, and keep peeling. And this is the infinite onion. I don't think it ever
Oh,
stops,
so infinite. Yeah.
right? As long as we're in these bodies. And it's like, that's, you have that realization, something shows up that's not your ideal manifestation. You have to come to terms with that all by yourself, with yourself. And the community that we have here, the Tya community that we've built to support each other in nurturing ourselves and being kind. That's the other piece. You can't just beat yourself up. You can't turn that shovel onto yourself, which is
No.
another thing we have to do. And sometimes it's not even the shovel. Sometimes it's alcohol or shopping or food. We've all used these different tools to beat ourselves up when we made poor decisions because we reacted out of an old operating system, an old space of fear, an old space of perceived need to survive a trauma, a circumstance. That's not happening. Debbie G wasn't threatened, I can imagine.
No. No. Mm-mm.
But something
No.
triggered, you said, and so you had this old piece of you that was reacting in a
Yeah.
fearful.
I gotta tell you what.
Yeah.
Two things. Gotta step in here. You know that old piece of me that was reacting? She was 5. I was reacting
Ooh.
like a damn 5-year-old. Y'all just listen to this right now. That's why you're a trauma baby, like me. You're a trauma baby. God, memory that damn thing was created when I was freaking 4 or 5 years old. What the hell? And here I am in a 53-year-old body acting like a damn 5-year-old. And if y'all were watching my Facebook feed, you would have saw the elephant, the baby elephant that throws the tantrum and throws its face into the mud.
That is that what this is related to?
Don't be a baby elephant, please. I was a baby elephant. Baby elephant threw her face in and took in the mud. It was,
So
yeah, it was so cute. Yeah, throwing a trauma baby fit is nothing like cute though. That's just the thing. And it is literally, I'll tell you a story. When my grandma used to say, she said, Debbie, my God, I love you. But when you were like 2 years old, she'd be cruising down the Los Angeles, and she'd be in her little Volkswagen bug. It was blue because she loved blue, and I love my grandma Betty Ruth. Man, what a hoot! And she'd say, and I love you, honey. She goes, but you haven't changed hardly not one iota. And I said, well, Grandma, what do you mean? And she said, well, when you were little, you'd throw these tantrums, and I swear to you, your legs would be going, you'd be screaming, you'd be throwing one good old fit, and then you'd see these big golden arches, and you'd go, hamburger French fry Coke. And she'd go, no, you haven't been good. And she's like, I'm like, but yeah, I have been. She's like, when? Well, now, Grandma, now I'm good. I have apparently always had this in me because I remember her telling me how absolutely adorable I was, and I knew what I was doing. And
mm,
that's and that same trauma baby at 53 throws, I caught her trying to throw one of those fits, the baby elephant fits. And I was just like, oh my God, I love you. Look how cute you are. It was beautiful, you all. It was beautiful. And there's one more thing. It's like you can choose to peel onions, or your life can actually have the bliss and the roses. You just got to decide, what the heck do you want? Do you want a headache like I had, or you want to use some tools?
Yep.
Tools. Because
Tools are definitely the way to go, in my opinion, because I too have thrown many a trauma baby fit in my past. And
have you ever stomped your feet?
oh, yeah. Even as an adult.
That's what I mean. As an adult, like I even have someone once go, are you stomping your feet? Yes.
I know.
Anybody out there do that?
Anybody else?
Anyone else do that?
It's like, oh my.
I'm not.
I think.
Damn it, what if you're right?
I think it's remarkable that you and Joe are, you're the beta couple. You do realize that. I mean, David and I have our own couples, and we've done our Tya tools, but our significant others are not involved in the Tya practice. They're actually quite removed. One's a psychologist, is the partner, and mine is a scientist. So they're really not into Tya at all. It's so interesting to see how it leaks out into our relationship and into their psyches. But you and Joe are like, you're the beta couple. You're the beta Tya.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see how things go.
Oh, it's a story. I'm going to promise you, y'all, the story's coming. It's a story too. It's hilarious. What's hilarious is, I mean, no, we are definitely the Tya couple. What we have just been through in my olden day, no, I would have walked. I would have said, nah, I'm not doing this. My ego would have been way too big. I would have been, no. I wouldn't have had any tools, and I would have just not had what it took to recognize a truly authentic, kind human being. Because I would have been too busy judging or blaming or shaming or beating my victim that I couldn't. I dare you bring this to our relationship.
Oh my God, I think I've said that myself. Not in this relationship, but in past ones. How dare you? I won't put up with it.
How dare you? I will not. Like, I mean, like, we know we're the queen, but geez, Jimmy, I mean, off with your head, kind of. I know that those queens that off people's heads were totally had regret afterwards. They're like, oh man, I gotta have
So it's so interesting because it's like, to be real and to truly rule your own sovereignty is to step down off the throne and stop judging and fearing everything around you, to be gracious, compassionate, kind, and loving to not only everything and everybody around you, but to yourself. To yourself. Say to yourself in the morning when you get up and you look in the morning in the mirror, the first thing, what pops into your head? How are you talking to yourself? If you can't be nice to yourself, it's really going to be hard to be nice to other people. You got to start unraveling that transgressor victim energy somewhere. That's a great place to start before you jump into the masterclass on Saturday.
Oh God, that masterclass on Saturday is going to be rock star. You guys got to do it. It's free. It's free anyway. The link's right there in the chat. If you don't see it, go to the Tya Practice page, please. The Tya Practice page. Really simple, easy peasy, lemon squeezy to find. All you got to do is put in Tya Practice. Tya Practice. That's all you got to do. Just put that in and find the group and join the group and I also want you guys to be working on the questions that I've put out to win your no monetary value $100 these things are, they're magic.
I,
I'm, I got mine. I got mine at Awakenings in Costa Mesa. So it's a spiritual store. So as far as I'm concerned, they're already magical because they were like all around a whole bunch of good energy.
I think they're
Look at the
right? Abundance tokens.
abundance tokens. Oh my God. Okay, so that's what they officially are now. They are your abundance token right here. And it's also a big thank you for watching the show.
Yes,
The
thank you.
next, but this big set of the next set of questions that are going to come, we're going to really, I really want to know, like, it's going to be a submission of an essay, how that you're using your tools that you're learning from us. Seriously, you guys, and show up on at the free. In fact, you know what? I'll tell you what, anybody who goes to the free event on Saturday, I'm going to hear if you tell David you saw us today, if you saw this show, I'll send you one. Okay? That's a promise. So
You bet.
I'll buy
Well,
more. I'll buy more just for you. If you go to the master class. Why? Because yes, am I bribing you? Yeah.
with nothing.
Uh, yeah. Because it's really cool. You get an abundance token, and I'm telling you, I love them because I think they're cool. So Leslie, I love this. Reclaiming my power in the now.
Yes.
How
Yeah.
now? If you're not
Well,
here and present,
so tokens and bits and baubles that remind you that you are a part of the flow of abundance are really cool to use. Again, you give power to something and it means something to you. I have my Buddha. I don't know if you can see him. He's got little gold flecks all around him. So that reminds me that
ooh,
abundance is all around me. All I need to do is reach out and grab it. So, like your
oh my God, I love
will,
that.
when I'm feeling really grumpy, he's the first thing I'd grab and play with because it's like, oh, look, I know abundance is there. I just have to relax and open up to the fact that it is already there. What you already want to manifest in life is just waiting for you to bring your vibe up to it. Down to the master class, learn how to do it. David will teach.
I love that. Totally.
Yeah.
I I tell you guys, seriously, you need to go to TikTok. TikTok. Anybody on TikTok? If you are, go follow David, the stream of David, please. Follow him there. He's also going to be doing some live streams coming up. So you want to follow him on TikTok and follow me too on TikTok. Please. Stacie, are you on TikTok?
I
She's
am,
going to
but
be on TikTok.
I will.
She will. Leslie's first car was a blue VW Beetle. Loving all the trauma babies, loving the hell out of them, and allow them the energy to reconfigure and return to source, to send and change into loving that self and stomping those feet is perfect expression, but not helpful in the
Poor.
boardroom
Did you mean
or the bedroom.
Leslie?
Either one, I promise.
One. Yeah.
Well,
Keep stomping out.
unless you're into BDSM and do a little bit of Dom, then it probably won't hurt you at all. You'll probably be rocking that. But anyway, that's a different
Oh, no.
story, different time. We'll talk about that another time. That's sacred before Xanadu, you
It'll be
all.
great too
And
if you guys have questions. You've watched us before. You kind of know our shtick, our jive here, and what we like to talk about. So if you have questions about relationship, if you want to talk about how to release your trauma baby issues and expand and move forward and create an amazing life for yourself and manifest more, put your questions in on Debbie's feed so that we can have an idea what you guys are wanting to clue in on. Holidays are coming. Do you want your ego survival self out there eating turkey dinner with your family? Would you like your more conscious, aware self sitting there and enjoying the food instead of throwing it?
I'm going to go with the latter on that. You know, as you're sitting here, I've got this vision of a bunch of us big adults in a bunch of onesies sitting around clocking each other with a big old binky. Okay, all of us going around and snagging. Think about these narcissistic babies, these like 1-year-olds walking, these 1.5-year-olds in a daycare. They just walk around, they'll just take what they want, do what they want. And if they don't get what they want, they just plop down on their pampered ass and cry. And y'all wonder what's wrong with us. We were those children. Okay. So think about it.
the Pop Tart in one hand and the what is it? The pop that has Tootsie Roll pop in the other. Right? Driven on sugar.
No, and the flip like down to your freaking like floor. You know, I mean, it's so something. How precious. And then, you know, all of us little children on the playground, all teaching each other all these beautiful ways because we're bringing all of those downloaded belief systems from home onto the playground, creating a real dynamic of chaos. It's freaking ginormously awesome. Think about this. Your reactive state is the state that your brain locked in at the age that the original trauma happened. Do you understand? Using tools to help you unravel that and grow up to play up, because that's really what it's about. Really, we want to get back to that playful being. Is to use tools to help you do that. And that's what Tya is going to help you do. Mm-hmm. So join the masterclass on Saturday. Get a handy dandy abundance. Okay, and there's some questions in the chat you guys need to answer, and I will give them away as well.
Yes, and look for the link.
Just message me on Facebook.
Come and hang out with us anytime. Tuesday nights, we're here. Great.
Bring those questions, you guys. Yep.
Yeah.
And you know what? I am not opposed to having to bringing somebody on to ask us a question live. Ooh. So make sure you're following us. And I know, seriously, I love bringing people on the off the beaten path. We'll do it.
I actually asked David too. I said, "You want to pop on one time and do a little stream session for us too? That could be cool." So keep in mind that we're going to have interesting topics to come up. Possibly some guests. Maybe a little stream. We'll see if we can talk David into doing that for us. That would be cool. How do you determine original trauma? Ooh.
I love that, CJ, but you know what? We can't answer it because we're out of time. So what we want to do, this is what we're going to do. Next week, we're going to start with CJ. Yep. How do you determine the original trauma? And that's how we're going to start our show off. So thank you, CJ, for ending it with a beautiful question. You rock.
That's awesome.
And yeah, so meet us over here on Facebook there, CJ, on YouTube. You just like totally brought a cool question. All right, so y'all know what's up next week. All right, we will see you later, alligators. After a while.